Good morning and welcome to NewsWatch Today. I'm Ruby Mitchell.
And I'm Nicholas Brownlee. This week, Evangel is hosting an opera.
And a Missouri woman pleads guilty to a crime related to Elvis Presley's estate.
Madison Tabor is here with your forecast, and Nicholas McKinley has your latest sports news. This is NewsWatch Today. Thanks for joining us this morning. Standing by is our weather anchor, Madison, to give us the first look at the forecast.
Yes, Madison, what's the weather going to be looking like for today?
Well, it's too soon to say that spring has sprung, but we have been seeing some warmer weather lately. Today's current conditions right now is 48 degrees, but it feels like 44 with a wind of 10 miles per hour. And as we go into the day, we're going to get a high of 62 degrees. So it's going to get really warm as we go on today, and a wind of 17 miles per hour. So you're going to feel the wind as you're going. So make sure you're aware of that when you walk out on campus. But we're going to get some warmer weather, and we're going to see what that looks like as we go into their full forecast later. So stay with us. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Madison. I'm excited to see what this week's weather will look like.
So am I, and I'm hoping that the weather stays nice and warm.
Evangel University is hosting an opera titled The Italian Girl in Algiers. It will be held on March 7th and March 9th in the Spence Chapel. The opera is a love story between a girl named Isabella and a palace servant named Lindoro. This opera is being created thanks to our voice and performance majors. They are increasing in numbers really fast, and Evangel believes this opera is what those people need if they want to have big performances in the future. A Kimberling City, Missouri woman tried to fraudulently auction off Elvis Presley's famous Graceland mansion so she could defund him and his family. Lisa Janine Findley committed libel as she claimed Lisa Presley borrowed $3.8 million from a private lender who didn't exist. She herself eventually pleaded guilty of mail fraud and identity theft, since she presented to be three people during this scheme to improperly take the mansion. She is expected to face 20 years in prison, but due to the plea deal, it might be reduced.
Home Depot has broken its long-running losing streak. On Tuesday, the company said sales from stores at least 2 years old grew 0.8% last quarter. That ends 8 straight quarters of declining sales. The company also gave an upbeat forecast for 2025, predicting continual sales growth. This could be good news for more than just Home Depot. The company is America's largest home improvement retailer and leads the U.S. housing market and economy. But it comes after Walmart, the nation's largest retailer, warned last week that 2025 would be a rockier year. The company expects sales to slow amid concerns about inflation and tariffs.
There is a new booming business on Evangel's campus. Jaron Lambertson has the story.
Valor Customs is an on-campus t-shirt business located on the Evangel campus led by Nathan Underwood and Mallory Hills, two leaders of Evangel's Future Business Leaders of America, otherwise known as FBLA. Their goal is to create t-shirts and other branding for on and off-campus activities.
Usually in the afternoon, but we'll come in and we'll get everything set up, sorted out. We have a program on the computer that we can see what orders we're going to be printing for the day, and we have student volunteers that usually come in and we print shirts.
These shirts include sports intramural teams or floor events, or just to have a t-shirt. If you want to place an order for your t-shirt, go to their website, euvalorbiz.com. FBLA is open to all people who want to join the club and get involved with Valor Customs.
At our one of the first meetings of the year, we open up a sign-up sheet, and students can volunteer for the position that they would like to fill. And we work with them to make sure that they get the position that suits their degree best and their interests, and we are very flexible with all our volunteers, and we get them the position that they want.
If any students would like to join FBLA, contact Michelle Jacobs in the business department to get started on your next adventure. Valor Customs is located here in Zimmerman on Evangel's campus next to the business department. Signing off for NewsWatch, my name is Jaron Lambertson.
Coming up, we get a special look on an artistic event on campus.
After that, I'll talk with an Evangel student leader. Stay with us.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch. Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
On February 15th, Evangel's Fine Arts magazine hosted its first event of the semester. Here's Natalie Hedgepeth with her report.
Epiphany is an Evangel University fine arts magazine that hosts coffee houses 3 times every semester. This event aims to showcase original student work. This can be in the form of flash fiction, nonfiction, music, artwork, and even more.
Swish of mic. Well, it's an informal setting, and so, we've got the open mic here, but it's not like it's on a stage and there's tickets sold or anything like that. It's just very informal, and everybody here is really supportive. So if you come, they're going to snap their fingers at what you perform, what you do, and everybody's just really supportive.
Halfway into the night, the Epiphany co-editors provide a creative writing prompt for people to practice writing while socializing with other fellow creatives.
My reaction was anything but tame.
I just like seeing what everybody's come up with. Usually we have like a good selection of like really serious pieces, but also like really funny pieces, and you're in for a good laugh usually at most coffee houses. And I like to laugh, so I just want to, see a good turnout. I want to make sure, people are inspired to keep writing pieces, and just to provide a space for people to cultivate more.
A neck slip that didn't come from ninjas or...
Typically located in the Barracks Coffee Shop, students from any department are always welcome to join in the event activities.
My favorite part of tonight was just seeing how many creative people are on campus. It's always cool to just see how many people, the talent you're surrounded by. Sometimes people can be secretive with their talents and their work and stuff, and just to see people display it and display it proudly is really cool, and it just like brings a sense of warmth to like that you're surrounded by such a talented group of people.
The Epiphany staff come up with themes for each coffee house. People can write or display artwork that matches the theme of the night, but is never required because they want to display anything the student is willing to share on the open mic.
We love seeing people in a warm, comfortable environment, exploring their creative side, and invite anybody to come down, participate, and enjoy the next coffee houses of the semester. Reporting for NewsWatch, I'm Natalie Hedgebeth.
Standing by is Ruby with Bernardo Gatica, who will be giving us a glimpse into part of the Student Ministries organization here at Evangel. Ruby?
Thank you, Nick. With us today is the Director of Student Discipleship Ministries. Bernardo, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So first question, as the head of student discipleship, what is kind of your vision for your role and for all of the responsibilities that come with it?
Yeah, a lot of what I get to do is really just giving opportunities for students to use their gifts and use their abilities. A lot of that comes in the form of small groups. So we open opportunities for students to be a small group leader, allowing them to create that space and to create a devotional. But also we have things like Encounter Chapel, where we open the stage for students to come in and use their gifts for worship or their gifts for preaching to help be a part of a chapel service.
Yeah, so going more off of your mentioning of Encounter Chapel, what does that look like? Could you explain that to students and how they can get involved and attend that?
Yeah, Encounter Chapel is like my little baby. I love Encounter Chapel. It's what I get to work on every single week. And what it is a fully student-led chapel service. It is overseen by the faculty, but it's really just students creating this. Really, the campus chaplains are the ones that take the hands of making that happen. Yeah. But it's fully student-led, and it happens every Monday at 9:45 in the chapel, in Spence Chapel.
Nice. So again, you mentioned student chaplains. Can you dive more into what their responsibilities are and what role they play in Encounter Chapel and other events on campus?
Yeah, the campus chaplains is a small team of very highly capable people. What they do is they help create large student-led chapel services, and that usually comes in the form of Encounter Chapel, but that also comes in the form of all halls, which happen at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. So we had one last semester in the beginning, and this semester we're going to have our last all hall towards the very end. And the last thing that they kind of help with is Athletes Chapel, which we have about once a semester.
Okay. And then on top of that, you have the intercessory prayer team who plays a role in different things on campus. Can you explain to us what that role looks like and what events they've helped put on here on campus?
Yeah, the intercessory team is a team of students who have raised their hands and have just said, I just want to pray for people. And I think it's so awesome and beneficial having a team of students who just want to pray. A lot of what they do is behind the scenes. They don't usually go out, but we have had them be requested at certain events. So at the Global Cultures and Compassions training event, they were asked to come and just pray over students. And then here in the near future, they've been asked to go out again to I forgot, World Changers or something. I can't remember. Taste of the Nations, that's what it was. They wanted them to go out and pray over students there as well.
Yeah. And then circling back to small groups, which you mentioned as part of the events that fall under your role, could you explain to us what that is, what that looks like, and how students can get involved in that here on campus?
Yeah, small groups is a time for students to build each other up in spiritual community. What we don't want is the students to feel like they're going in and feel like they're getting preached to. Yeah. But instead, it's a time where students can build off of each other. What that usually looks like is students coming in, going over the scriptures, but also getting to dig deep into each other's lives and being intentional about how things are going in their weeks and how things are going back at home. Yeah. And it's very beneficial for me. It's been my freshman year. It was something that really helped me grow in my spiritual walk and in my faith, in my walk, in my journey with Christ. And so I highly encourage students to get plugged into a small group.
Yeah, so what like tactical approaches can they do to actually get involved in small groups and be a member of one of those?
Yeah, there's a few ways. We have QR codes spread throughout campus where it has small groups and then the QR code. You can scan it and it should take you to a link where you can view all the small groups on campus. On top of that, every single dorm should have a list of all the small groups happening within their dorm. So you can look at that list and you can contact the person on that paper. But also, you can just ask around. So many students are a part of small groups. You can almost go up to anyone and they'll say, yeah, I have a small group, come join me.
Yeah, that's such a wonderful part of Evangel's culture, that we have those opportunities for students and we have those events for students. Could you give us a quick glimpse into what events Student Ministries is going to be a part of upcoming? Just a quick little snippet into what students can be looking forward to.
Yeah, so we do have this thing in March 13th. We are partnering up with Convoy of Hope for an International Women's Day event.
Okay.
And so on March 13th, we need students, both men and women,
Yeah.
to go and help out and volunteer, but also learn about it. And then a little snippet is we also have Valor Volunteer Day coming up pretty soon. That I don't have the date or the time or the details yet, but that is something to be looking out for.
Bernardo, thank you so much for being here. Let's go back to the desk with Nick and Madison.
So Madison, will we have wintry storms like we did last week?
No, it looks like we're actually seeing some spring weather, but we'll see that very soon at my full forecast, so stick with us.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org. It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
One of Evangel's residence halls hosted a fun event during last week's inclement weather. Here's Nicholas McKinley with the story.
Snow may have been falling at Evangel University, but it didn't stop Lewis Hall from having an event. On Tuesday, February 18th, the hall hosted Valen Tunes, an event as a part of their Lewis Lounge series. The lounge events allow student musicians and bands within the hall to demonstrate their musical abilities.
Yeah, I mean, I've been super excited to play for my fellow students. Just the idea of being able to play in an atmosphere that's like this, where it's like a coffee house vibe and feel, and just have fun with a bunch of people in Lewis Hall. It's just a blast, something to look forward to, honestly.
Everything for the event, including the bands, snacks, and craft activities, was organized and planned by the Lewis Hall Council. In addition to representing the needs of the hall's residents to leaders, the council helps put on events for the residents to enjoy.
Yeah, basically planning events is the big things that we work on. We get together, we come up with ideas, we block out dates, we do all kinds of stuff, and put in a lot of effort really to make these events worth it, to make them something that the Lewis family will love and enjoy.
This event was a part of the efforts by the Hall Council as well as the Lewis resident team to foster community within the Hall. Whether it's through hosting elaborate events or offering humble opportunities to worship, the RD, RAs, and Hall Council work hard to make Lewis Hall feel like home.
So, whether Lewis residents wanted to listen to some good music or just enjoy the company of others, the Valentunes event provided some much-needed indoor entertainment during the cold, wintry weather. Reporting for NewsWatch Today, I'm Nick McKinley.
That event looked like a blast.
It really was. I was there, and it was such a fun opportunity for students to get to talk to one another and connect during that really bad, severe weather. Speaking of weather, let's go to Madison and see what the weather looks like for the upcoming week.
Yes, last week we saw some very cold weather, but kind of having a contrast of what the weather is now. We're actually getting some spring-like weather. But going into today, our current conditions right at this moment is a high of 44. It feels like 39 degrees, so we're still dealing with that cold weather, that wintry weather. But as we go on into today, our current conditions for the whole day is going to be 62, a high. So that's really good. We're getting more into that spring weather that we're wanting to feel, with a 0% chance of rain and 17 miles per hour of wind. So you're going to feel the wind. You're going to feel it when you're walking out. So make sure you're aware of that. And going into Friday, we have a high of 70 degrees. It's going to feel like spring. It's going to feel good outside. So if you're able to go outside, enjoy the weather while you can, because as we go into the weekend, on Saturday, we're going to have a high of 53. So we're dropping 20 degrees weather with a low of 33. So it's going to start getting cold, start feeling wintry again. Into our satellite, as you can see, Missouri, there's nothing really going on except over up here we're seeing some of that wind, that precipitation. And if we're going into the radar, we can see where it's going. Like I said, nothing's going on in Missouri, but if we go northeast, we see the rain, we see the precipitation up here. So we're not getting affected by it, but if you have family that lives up here, they're definitely getting affected by it. And going back into our national forecast, over here, this is where the rain is, some snow up in the north, but Missouri, once again, is not getting hit by anything. We're starting to see that really spring weather coming up for us. And in our extended forecast into the whole week, as stated before, we have 62, 70, 53, and then we're going back down into our cold weather, getting kind of groggy with the rain coming in on Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's when you'll need to watch the weather, make sure you're wearing the appropriate things to wear, and we're getting into the low 30s and even 40s. But it's not going to be so bad because I believe that spring is going to sprung very soon. But this has been all things. Tabor, back to you guys.
Thanks, Madison. After the break, Nicholas McKinley will be here to give us the latest news in sports.
And the FDA is delaying the revamp of the healthy label. Let's keep it here.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
We discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh.
My bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
The new standards for labeling of food healthy have been pushed back. Late year, the Food Drug Administration updated the nutritional requirements for a product to be described as healthy on its packaging. The update was scheduled to go into effect Tuesday, but last month, President Donald Trump issued a pause on the new rules. As a result, the FDA says the new rule will start about 2 months from now, on April 28th. The new requirements include a limit on added sugars and sodium. Food companies have until February 20th to February 28th to update their products if they want to use the healthy label.
Thanks, Nick. It'll be interesting to see how these new labels affect our purchasing.
Yes, it will. Nicholas McKinley is here to give us the latest in sports. Nicholas?
Thanks, Nick. Luka Doncic earned his first triple-double with the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday while playing his former team, the Dallas Mavericks. This comes after Dallas surprisingly gave up Doncic for power forward Anthony Davis just a few weeks ago. Davis, however, did not play in the game due to injury. Doncic was at a loss of words to describe his emotions during the game, saying that the game just felt different. The Lakers beat the Mavericks 107-99. The general manager of the Green Bay Packers has submitted a proposal to the NFL to ban the infamous tush-push play. This play, which the Philadelphia Eagles have used very successfully over the past 3 years, involves a team's offensive line pushing through the defense to allow the quarterback to reach their intended objective. People have criticized the play as one that's highly effective but requires no skill. However, Eagles coach Sirianni has defended the play and states that it's only successful due to his team's hard work. The Evangel Valor women's basketball team will be hosting a KCAC quarterfinal game this evening as they take on Sterling College. This will be the Valor's 9th all-time matchup against Sterling. The women's team lost to Sterling by a point earlier this season, but their encounter last weekend saw Evangel beating Sterling 77-64. If the women's basketball team wins tonight, they will either host Bethany College or Tabor College this Saturday night for the semifinals.
Well, Nick, I'm excited to see how our women's basketball team fares in the KCAC tournament.
Me too. I'm also excited for the outcome of the proposed play ban.
Yeah.
And we'll hear more about how a Missouri man discovered a lost treasured item after this break.
Shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
A Missouri man, Neil Lansdowne, discovered an Omaha Northwest High School class of 1978 ring while working in his garden near Rockport. The ring had the name Carrie Crocker inscribed on the inside. Though online sleuthing proved ineffective, the ring's owner was finally discovered when Crocker spotted his own ring on a TV news report. Crocker lost his ring around 1981, but does not know how or why it ended up in a garden in a town he has never been to. His best explanation is that while working his family-run flower shop, Crocker lost the ring in a plant that eventually made its way to Lansdowne's garden.
It's really cool that that man was able to find such a treasure.
Yeah, and that they were able to return it to its original owner is really, really interesting. Let's go to Madison to see how the weather is looking for the next few days.
Yes, the weather is looking really warm. Today, for the rest of this week, today is a high of 62. Tomorrow we have a high of 70. And then as we go into the week, we're gonna get into the mid-50s, low 40s. So while you can enjoy the warm weather because it won't last forever, back to you guys.
Thanks, Madison. That's all for us today. Check out EUTVValorMedia.com for more Evangel news. I'm Ruby Mitchell.
And I'm Nicholas Brownlee. Please join us next week here on NewsWatch Today.